Alright, so here's our Unit 4 review. Alright, so question 1, we have choose the only correct congruence statement according to the way the triangles are marked. So similar to how we did in the practice here, let's go ahead and throw in our markings. Let's get a good pen color here. Red's probably not the best because the text is red. Okay, so in the order of my left triangle, I'm doing my 1, 2, 3. So I'm looking at triangle L, M, G. Over here, on my 1, 2, 3, I have triangle M, L, K. So if we're looking around here, we check. We know if we don't, it doesn't matter if we put this one first or this one first. But again, process of elimination here, we're looking at D is the correct answer here. Alright, going on to question 2. For problems 2 through 7, determine if the two triangles are congruent. If they are, choose the correct congruence criteria. So again, that not congruent is the vocabulary word here, so it's similar to how we used it in the notes. I just shorthanded and wrote the symbol. So looking at question 2 here, let's see, we have some sides, right? So I have a side here, side there, same thing down here. And if we look, we have that nice pair of vertical angles. So if we do our check here, we see we have side, angle, side. Going on to question 3. This one was kind of an easy one. They split them apart for us, so we're really just concerned you guys know that relationship there of angle, side, angle, because again, if the side is interior to those two angles. So we know, as always, I make your guys' homework in class way harder than these. Alright, looking at question 4. So we got some sides. Now our reflexive property comes into play. We see that this shared side is going to be congruent to itself. So we got side, side, side. We look around, right? We see each triangle has those sides congruent. So number 4 is B, side, side, side. Question 5. We have a side on both, but these triangles are not connected in any way, shape, or form. They're not adjacent. They don't have the reflexive property nor vertical angles. So with just two sides, we can actually say they are not congruent, or at least we don't have enough information to say they are. Alright, on this one here we have our reflexive. So I have a side, angle, angle, and here I also have side, angle, angle. So with this one here, our choice is going to be, remember we can write it both ways, either side, angle, angle, and remembering that that goes the other way as well, we see our choice is angle, angle, side. On to 7, knowing that nice little pair of vertical angles there, we could see pretty rapidly here we have another angle, side, angle example, similar to what we've seen in a lot of these notes. So that's choice A for 7. That was actually really cool. It came out kind of like a battleship there, like a cowboy hat. Let's go ahead and make it look like a neater circle, though. Alright, on to questions 8 and 9. In problems 8 and 9, state what additional information would be needed to prove the triangle is congruent in the way specified. So this was very similar to what we did in our notes again. I wonder why. So we're looking for angle, side, angle. So let's think about what we know here. We have this nice little reflexive property. So I have a side, I have an angle. Same with our other triangle, right? So we want it to be those two angles on the immediate left and right of that side. So if we're looking, that means we need this angle here and this angle here. So we can keep it kind of sandwiched in there, so in between. That interior to those congruent angles. So if we're looking, okay, these two are definitely wrong, because those are talking about, oh, my bad, just crossed out the wrong ones. These two are definitely wrong, because we don't need another side, we need another angle. So let's look here. XWH. So XWH, okay, that's good. That's talking about this angle. XWY. XWY. Well, that's exactly what we need. So our choice here for number 8 is going to be B. You can check through C. You'd see I was wrong. Alright, number 9. Looking for angle, angle, side. So we have our vertical angles here. And a side here, so we have our angles and our sides. Now remember, just like in the practice, we need to make sure that this angle is not going to give us angle, side, angle. So if we check that out, if I chose this one, that's not the order we need. So we know that we're in need up here. Similarly here, if I chose X for my angle, I'd have angle, side, angle, which is incorrect. So we'll need V. So we need angle E and angle V. Well, that's not what that's saying. Let's get rid of that. We don't need a side, so I can get rid of that. So let's see here. If I did CDE, that's not going to work either. So CED, that's good. And then I want XVD, good to go. So our choice is choice D. Oops, stuck on that. Okay, let's see if I can scroll here. Oh, hold on. Alright, 1 second, guys. Alright, moving on to our next one here. So we have 10 and 11. Circle true or false in the following triangles can be proven congruent with the given information. So let's look at 10. The following triangles can be proven congruent by side angle side if H and M are congruent. So let's see if we know that H and M were congruent. Well, we have side angle side here. And we look over here, we also have side angle side. So for number 10, this is definitely going to be a true statement. See, we have the angle in between those two sides, or interior to them. Number 11, angle side if CI is congruent to HI. Let's see if we have CI and then HI by angle side. Well, we know we have our vertical angles here, so it does look like it. But if we're looking at the order here, we actually have angle side angle because it's between them. So even though these are congruent, it's actually false because we wanted angle side. Let's go ahead and check out our next problem here. Okay. Number 12. Complete each part below. Draw the triangles if needed. So you can draw your triangles here, but as we learned in the notes, it's sometimes easier if we just label. So we want, for this one, if we go ahead and label our order, and for some reason my pen's not working. Hold on. See if we can get this going. Alright, I'm going to pause the video and I'll be right back. Alright, so let's see here. And my drawing tool is working again. So we're good to go. Alright, so we just labeled these as 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. So figuring out the order here, KL, that would be 1 and 3. So if I choose 1 and 3 here, it's A and M. For AC, that's 1 and 2. So choosing 1 over and 2 over here is KP. P is the second letter, so here we just choose the second letter of C. LPK is 3, 2, 1, so here 3, 2, 1 gives me MCA. So again, it's just getting those orders down. Okay, you should look familiar to what we did on the board, right? So we got solve for X. We see here we have 3 sides of the same, so that's a nice equilateral triangle. So 2 different methods. You can either say that all of these angles are the same. So I could do a couple different things here. I could do 9x minus 3 plus 9x minus 3 plus 9x minus 3 and set it equal to 180. Or I could do 3 times, or I'll put this here so we get to fill in the blank. Or I could do 3 times 9x minus 3 and set it equal to 180. Or, if we realize that in an equilateral triangle all the angles are equal to 60, we could just do 9x minus 3 and set it equal to 60. Depending on where your knowledge is, all 3 of those work to get you to the same spot. In any case, we should end up with x is equal to 7. Alright, number 14 here. So when we want to solve something like this, we see we're given all 3 angles. So I know that if I add all 3 angles of any triangle together, we will end up with 180. So if I add each of these terms together that I'm given, I could set it equal to 180. Through some solving here, we'll end up with x is equal to 11. And then that angle A, so don't forget to do this part, just like we talked about on the board, will give us 116. So again, we just combine our like terms here. So 3, 9, and 6, that gives me 18. Negative 4 and 17 gives me 13. 13 minus 31. So again, if you're thinking of what I'm talking about here, I'm just combining those like terms. So I'd have negative 4 plus 17 minus 31. You'd end up with negative 18 there, equal to 180. Oops. Add 18 over, divide by 18. All the good things we've practiced a few times here. All right, let's look at 15. So, it says find the measure of the indicated angle. So going through here, we want to get to that x. So I look in the triangle where I have more information, right? So I have 46 and 89. So if I call this angle y, I'm going to use that angle to get over to the other triangle. So this would be 46 plus 89 plus y is equal to 180. So if we do some subtraction here, I could do 180 minus 46 minus 89, and I'll end up with 45. So angle y here is just equal to 45. Then we see here, if I want to make the jump over to this triangle, let's say I called it angle j. Well, y plus j is equal to 90 because we're given that right angle. So if I did 90 minus 45, I'd find out that this is also just going to be 45. And lastly here, so back to our sum of a triangle. So we have three angles inside the triangle. So if I did 30 plus 45 plus x, we could set it equal to 180. And then let's do some solving here. We will find our answer to be 105. So x is equal to 105. Alright, going on to question 16. A little more work here, so we got to get to here. So let's start with what we know. We see our two angles in here, so we need to find this angle. So if I did 180 minus 40 minus 50, we'd find out that this angle here is going to be 90 degrees. Now, similar to the idea of a linear pair, we have three angles here on a straight line. They form a straight line, so they have to add up to 180. So if I called this y, I would know that 90 plus 56 plus y is equal to 180. So if we did 180 minus 90 minus 56, we'd find out that that angle y is just 34. Again, now we have all three angles within this triangle, so if I did x plus 34, whoops, let's get rid of that giant line, plus 87, we could set that equal to 180. And we will find out that x is going to be 59. Almost there. Let's go ahead and scroll down here. Okay, question 17. Find the measure of the indicated angle. So again, we're looking for x. So let's use what we know to start with all we're given. 36 is over here. We have a vertical angle, so this is going to be 36. I see here, I have two congruent sides. That gives me a triangle that's isosceles, so I know that both of these angles are the same. So this is also 36. Vertical angles again gets me over here to 36. Isosceles triangle yet again gives me that this is also just 36. Now we have our linear pair, so I could say x plus 36, that terrible plus sign, is equal to 180. So our answer is going to be x is equal to 144. Alright, going on to 18. Getting real challenging here. So let's start with finding what we can. I'm looking at angle 1 here, right? There's no way I'm going to find angle 1 so far. But maybe let's try to start somewhere else. Let's look at angle 2. So angle 2, and again, it doesn't matter what order you find these in, just find the ones you can think of. So I see angle 2 right here is right, it's a linear pair, right? So it goes really well with that 115. So I could say that angle 2 plus 115 is going to be equal to 180, because again, they create that nice straight line there. So if we find angle 2, we would do 180 minus 115. So I could say angle 2 is equal to 65 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and write my 65 in here. Now I can find angle 1, right? Because I see that I have angle 1 plus 80 plus that 65. Well, that's going to give me 180 because they're all interior to that triangle. So for angle 1, we will end up with 35 degrees. Okay, angle 4. Well, angle 4 forms a linear pair with angle 2, so that's 65. Oops. Plus angle 4, that's also going to equal 180. So when we subtract there, so for angle 4, we'll get 115. So angle 4 is 115 degrees. And again, please make sure when you're filling this out on an exam to put the answers here. It's just an easier check. Show your work, obviously, but this will be the easiest way to check. Lastly, we need our angle 5 here. So for angle 5, we could check for yet another linear pair. We could use either angle 4 or angle that 115. So I'm just going to go ahead and say angle 5 plus 115 is equal to 180. And when we subtract there, we will find that we get 65. So angle 5 is equal to 65 degrees. You could have also noticed there's a vertical angle over here with angle 2. So either way. Similarly, for angle 4, we could have said, oh, it's a vertical angle here. Again, either way kind of works. And using these same types of logic, you guys could go ahead and solve for the rest of these as well. So you could solve for angle 3 and 6, 7. Same type of stuff. If you have questions on those, feel free to contact me or check in with me on those. Alright, lastly, we have numbers 19 and 20. Both diagrams are exactly the same. Use one or both to do any scratch work needed to answer the following 8 questions. So we had a couple parts here. Alright, so for the first one, we have ABC is congruent to M and O. Complete the statements. Note the triangle is not drawn to scale. So first we want to solve for X. So let's take a look at our first triangle here, ABC. Well, I know this means it's a 90-degree angle. Similarly over here. So if we want to solve for X, I would do 30 plus 90 plus 15X and set it equal to 180. Through some solving, we'll end up with X is equal to 4. To find the measure of angle A, I would just plug in 4 into here. So then 4 times 15, that'll give me 60. A congruence statement, BCA. Well, BCA, that would be, let's see here, so we have our 1, 2, 3s. So BCA is 2, 3, 1. So 2, 3, 1 would be NOM. BC is 2 and 3, so that would be N and O. Going on to our last question here. Again, it doesn't say Y, but if we need to find Y, like, well, apparently we do here, we just want to work with that other triangle. So we have 90 degrees here. So let's go ahead and say 90 plus 60 plus 5y is equal to 180. So from solving here, we'll find, oh, sorry, I should say y. Y is equal to 6. Plug it in for angle M. Well, we already know it's 60 because it's labeled as 60, right? So we actually didn't need to plug in there. Angle N. Oh, sorry, that was a congruence statement. My bad. See what happens when you don't read the directions, right? So angle M, if we go with our congruence here, we have 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So angle M is going to be congruent to angle A. Now we're finding the measure of angle N. So that's where we're going to plug in our y here. So 5 times 6 is going to give me 30. And lastly, MN, well, that's 1 and 2, so it's congruent to AB. Alright, kept it under 20 minutes. Again, make sure we're emailing with questions. We're asking them in class. We are ready for this exam.